little fight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is The Morning Moment. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. Dinesh D'souza was recently on Fox and Friends, and he attempted to explain white nationalism. Now, I don't pretend to be an expert on this, and I personally don't share their views as presented on CNN and other mainstream media. But these are my thoughts. As far as the United States is concerned, there is one person you have to hold accountable for the state of racial affairs that are currently unfolding in the United States. That's my opinion. And that gentleman is the late Senator Edward Kennedy. All you have to do is look up his 1965 immigration bill. To my mind, it was a game changer, and Kennedy knew it. I believe, and I can only speak for me, that he knew by changing the balance of approved countries away from what was seen at the time as traditional countries of immigration to, well, let's be frank, less developed countries of Africa, the Middle East and the Far East, the upshot would be, over time, and that's the key, over time, a major shift of the ethnic makeup of the major population of the United States. Let's be frank. That's what's happened. And I will add this. It was done, as far as I am concerned, for political reasons, far more than social reasons, thus giving them the political balance for many years to come. Finally, to bring this closer to home, the same approach has been tried in Canada by Trudeau 1, by allowing Quebec to have its own immigration status, while the rest of Canada has just one. And that effect further favours one group over another. However, I have to say, not to the same extent that has happened in the United States because of Canada's link to the UK. Now, take a listen to this clip and see, with that in mind, maybe you might have a different perspective. Because if you control the media, the education system, what are you going to end up with? You're going to introduce to the world nothing but automatons who get very upset when it doesn't go their way. And isn't that where we are right now? So take a listen, and as always, I will put a link to this article, or to this video clip in this case, on my website.
Mainstream media quick to blame right-wing rhetoric for Saturday's hate-fueled attacks in the state of Virginia.
But our next guest claims it's the racial politics on the left actually fueling this divide. Here to weigh in, author of New York Times bestseller The Big Lie, Dinesh D'souza. Dinesh, good to have you with us.
Good to be here.
So you say there's something else going on here. Walk us through this.
Well, the media is drawing the lesson from Charlottesville that Trump's hateful rhetoric, his racist rhetoric, is partly responsible for this. And Trump is accused of being like Hitler, making a kind of a racist attack on immigrants. Now, key point is that for Trump, the distinction is between legal immigrants and illegals. And this is not a racial distinction at all. Remember, the vast majority of legal immigrants to America today are non-white. They come from Asia, they come from Africa, from South America. Trump has never said, not even implied, that he wants to see legal immigration be more white. He wants to see more people, for example, come from England and Australia, and fewer people come, so let's say, for example, from India. Trump has never said that. On the other side of the aisle, if you think of Hitler wasn't even talking about immigrants. The Jews in Germany were German citizens. And so for Hitler, the distinction was inside of Germany between what he considered to be the superior Nordics and the sort of inferior Jews. And so there's simply no valid analogy here between Trump and Hitler on this racial point at all.
Dinesh, a lot of his critics will also say that when he talks about America first or Americanism, that's a dog whistle for white nationalism. What he really means is white people. What's your take take on that?
Well, Trump is arguing for an American nationalism and not a white nationalism. Let's remember that this whole concept of ethnic nationalism is a left-wing idea. The Democratic Party invented white nationalism, and the Democratic Party invented black nationalism. Now, interestingly, today, the way that the progressive Democrats have constructed their sort of multicultural totem pole, they encourage every form of ethnic nationalism except white nationalism. And so they encourage black nationalism and Hispanic nationalism, Asian nationalism. But somehow the white guy is not welcome at the multicultural picnic. This, I think, actually explains why these white nationalists, who really belong in the Democratic Party, are, in a sense, politically homeless, because if they show up at the multicultural picnic, they're safe.
All right. Dinesh D'Souza, author of The Big Lie, joins us today from LA. Thank you very much, Dinesh.
You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, Gab, and email. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass on the links. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning moments on Spreaker.com under A Radio, that's EHRADIO, A Radio. And please click on the like button. At this time I have another exciting announcement to make. You can now find us on iHeartRadio under A Radio. And you can find all my podcasts and morning moments at aradio.wordpress.com. Click on the Morning Moments tab.